Hello and welcome back to the channel from Marrakesh, Morocco. My first time here in this African country, and I am diving straight in the deep end by visiting Marrakesh, the ultimate Moroccan experience. You can see the rooftops around my riad where I'm staying here, located deep in the Medina of Marrakesh. And I will take you down to quickly show you what the riad looks like and a brief glimpse of my room, and then we'll head out to the streets and I shall give you a taste of what this vibrant city is like. I am not being sponsored to show this, I just wanted to give you an idea of what it's like. And I love this central area here at the middle of the riad. This one is my room, and I just love the traditional feeling with a slight modern twist, especially the ensuite here and the tile work. Really cool. But now stepping out onto the streets of the Medina, and as I said, I'm fairly deep into it. The closer that you get to the main square, the more touristy it feels and the more authentic it is. I guess the deeper into the Medina you are, which is why you'll only see sort of locals in the streets surrounding my riad. There aren't many other tourists, but we'll see a few more as we get closer. Bonjour. Marrakesh can be a bit of a maze, and so expect to get lost as you make your way around, and that's the whole part of the experience. So most of the interesting part of Marrakesh is located within a 19-kilometer circuit at the center of the city, the old city you can say, and that's what most people will find interesting. It is a large area. As I film this, it is currently November, and so in the evening and early mornings it does get a little bit chilly here in Marrakesh. That's why a jacket is advised if you travel here during this time of year. During the day though, it is pretty warm. It's around 5 p.m. at the moment, and so I've got my jacket on for later really, when the temperatures drop at night time. Beautiful blue skies in the late afternoon here. And something I should mention, when you walk around Marrakesh, it's a good idea to Hi. It's a good idea to keep right, because a lot of motorbikes are constantly going past, as you're going to see right here, and they tend to go quite fast. Sometimes the alleyways are very narrow, and if you're walking in the middle, you're almost guaranteed to get honked at, if not hit. In the Medina, a lot of the shops are hole-in-the-wall type of places, selling everything from sandals and shoes to textiles to scarves to sweets and baklava.
That is picture. No?
Got fresh produce here, and as I snake my way through the Medina, eventually we're going to reach Jemaa el-Fnaa, the main square in Marrakesh, which at nighttime pretty much turns into almost like a festival atmosphere, and I'm planning to reach there around the time the sun sets and see it turn into that type of vibe later. Lots of African masks, which look pretty interesting here. One aspect that I really love about Marrakesh and Morocco is that it's such a world away from Europe, and yet it's so close, and just a few hours away really, and you can step into an entirely different world here. And the Medina here in full flow. This is one of the widest streets I've seen. Hakimi, one of the best Moroccan players, representing them in the World Cup this year in Qatar. The Medina has now opened up into this little pocket here, and we are nearly at the main square as I continue. So we have now stepped into what is effectively the beating heart of Marrakesh and also Morocco. During the day, during the night, this place is always thriving, and many of the food stalls that arrive here during the late hours are setting up right now. You've still got the sound of drums and crowds beginning to emerge here. You might be able to see just here the snakes and the snake charmers. I don't want to get too close because they're going to ask me for some money, and also I've heard the practice is not very ethical. I don't know a lot about it, but I'm pretty sure that there's no way they can produce a bite that will harm anybody because the snakes have been tampered with. Let me know in the comments below if you're more informed than I am. But snake charming still exists here in the center of Marrakesh. Not only snake charmers, you'll find monkeys as well. So as you can see, it can be quite an overwhelming place at first if you've never been to a country like Morocco before. The smells, the sounds, the intensity, lots of people hustling you, trying to get you to buy some juice or eat at their stall, or perhaps buy their clothes in their shop. And everything that you do buy, you generally have to barter for unless the price is fixed at one of the food places or juice places. If you're buying clothes in the Medina, then you will need to have a fair idea of what you're prepared to pay. Whatever they tell you, I recommend at least halving it, if not going 1/3 of the original asking price. but use your own intuition. From Jemaa el-Fnaa, I am going to make my way to the most famous mosque in the city. I believe that non-Muslims are not permitted to enter it. I will return here once it's dark and show you what it's like at nighttime. The mosque is just straight ahead here. You can see it very clearly. Its minarets behind those flags of Morocco. So this is the 12th century Koutoubia Mosque and its 75-meter high tower. Originally, many booksellers used to set up around its base, I'm told. Things have changed a bit today. Lots of families around though. And as I said before, I don't think I can go inside being a non-Muslim. The amount of tourists that you have here in Morocco and Marrakesh, I can understand why they don't let non-Muslims in, otherwise the mosque would just get so overcrowded. Perhaps in other places in Morocco that are less touristy, you can probably get in one of the mosques. Worth passing through are the gardens by the mosque, and right now we have the sunset prayer. So it is now almost completely dark and I am reapproaching Jemaa el-Fnaa, and you can just see how it turns into a festival here at night time. Lots of people and the lights of all the food stalls have come on. So I hope my GoPro is going to handle the low light okay. Let's move closer to where the food is. The sound of drums just here.
Excuse me, just if you want to eat something. Do you have a time, brother?
So there is something rather famous here that I'm going to have a try of, which is snail broth or snail soup, and it's a bit of a delicacy, and there's a line of stalls where you can try it just here, and you can see, I don't know which one I'm gonna pick. So I have myself a seat here and a bowl of the snail broth. I've never had snails before, so first time for everything. It's salty and actually it's really nice. It's kind of a salty soy sauce, earthy flavor. And because not so many tourists will brave the snail broth, maybe like me, you'll get a very warm smile when you come and sit down, because they're always happy to see people try it, I suppose. So not only do you drink the broth, but you take out the snails and use a pick to eat them as well. Bon appetit. Not sure about the texture, a little bit similar to squid. Again, a salty kind of earthy flavor. Some of the dishes look like sheep's heads.
Sad, meat, beef. Welcome. Do you want to eat? Because you're starving.
Shukran. So I'm now here at a store called Ches Mohammed. It's number 71 if you want to find it. And it's famous for this tea which is called Koutoubia, which is ginger, cardamom and cinnamon. And then here you have a type of cake. Quite dry, and it almost has a sandy texture to it. But with that in my mouth, I'm going to drink the Koutoubia, which is why I see they go together so well. It gets rid of the dryness, and then you feel the sweetness from both. This is actually almost spicy and sweet at the same time. It packs quite a kick. So I'm now leaving Jemaa el-Fnaa and walking back towards where I'm staying. There is just so much going on in the main square at night. I can't cover it all. Having had the snails and the ginger drink, I needed something I could bite into, and so I picked up this street food here. I just passed a stall. It looked amazing, it smelled amazing. So inside this bread you have liver and mincemeat.
Maybe why not?
Yeah, it's okay, thank you.
You need it?
No, no. Cheers. Mincemeat, sausage, turkey and liver. So it's quite a concoction with some tomatoes and chopped onion as well. So transitioning back into the area which I'm staying, which is a little bit less touristy, like I said earlier, more locals. I just had some pomegranate juice after polishing off that mixed sandwich, and I've been really impressed by Marrakesh so far. I think I'm going to call it a day here because I want to show more of Marrakesh in the morning. I want to head to a slightly different area called the Casbah. Hello, good morning and welcome back to Marrakesh. I'm finishing off this video the following day by visiting some areas in a different part of the city. Where I am now is slightly south of Jemaa el-Fnaa and it's called the Kasbah area. And it has a few places of interest that I want to quickly drop by before I move on and leave Marrakesh for the mountain villages in the east. Making my way through the Kasbah. It's a slightly different feeling to the Medina further north in the city. And here there are two places of interest, which are the Saadian tombs and also the Badi Palace. So for 70 Moroccan dirhams, you can enter the Badi Palace, which is enormous and quite beautiful with these gardens around and the old walls of the palace of what's standing today. And this is a prominent place because of Al Mansour, the most famous of the Saadi rulers. He lived here. This was commissioned by him. Construction began the same year that he ascended to the throne, and he was also the longest serving of all the Saadi rulers, including being the last one. Along with the palace here, I also recommend visiting the Saadian tombs, which is just nearby in the Casbah. I went earlier. It's again 70 dirhams to enter, and it is the resting place of Al-Mansur, where he died in luxury in 1603. Italian marble and pure gold. It's certainly worth a visit. The Kasbah area is slightly quieter than the other busier places in the Medina, so if you're looking for a breath of fresh air away from the city, then you can find it here. Alright, so having visited the palace, I had some lunch, tagine with chicken and fig. Really good. And I'm now back here in Jemaa el-Fnaa, the main square, and I'm going to end this video of Marrakesh here. Any recommendations for Morocco, leave them in the comments below. Cheers.